Who's your gardener here? Hello, YouTube. It's October 2nd, and I thought I'd bring you out so you could see the tomatoes. My oldest daughter, Andrea, is going to be tickled to death. She's going to be here this weekend, and these are some of her favorite tomatoes, and I've got a load of them. So she can take some home to Kansas with her. But thought I'd bring you out here so you can check out the tomatoes. Yes, October the 2nd, and I'm still loaded with tomatoes. Good Lord have mercy. Believe it or not, last Saturday, I picked everything out here that was red, that was ready to, ripe, and I canned it. I did. And here we are. We got more tomatoes. And they're good sized tomatoes. They're not huge. Here's the Kellogg's breakfast tomatoes. They're pretty good sized tomato. They're like a beefsteak type tomato. And these are the Amish Paste tomatoes. And they kind of come in two sizes. Sometimes they're like this, and then other times they're like this. But they're good sized tomatoes. Here's another Kellogg's breakfast. This year I did Kellogg's breakfast, mortgage lifters, pineapple tomatoes, and I did the Amish Paste. By far the Amish Paste has outperformed, well, as far as production wise, has outperformed about everything. Of course, your beefsteak tomatoes, you'll get a big push on that crop, and then they'll start dwindling down. See, these were huge tomatoes this spring. Of course, we're in fall now. Things start slowing down. These are the Amish Paste tomatoes. Now, I'm going to flip my camera around so you can kind of see what this looks like in here. Like I said, I'm 6 foot, and I've got to duck a little bit to get through here. Right here, I'm touching the wires, and things I might do different next year, or the next time I grow on this. Now, next year I won't put tomatoes on here. I'll put beans or something like that. But what I might do next year, or the next time I grow, is put a center support in here. And that'll help hold this up. When I first built this, it was up probably about 6 inches or so above my head. And because of the weight of all these tomatoes, it has squished it down a little bit. Now the structure's still holding strong, but it's loaded down. So that's one thing I might do different. I'm gonna flip you back around here. Something else I might do different is this. Now, when I planted these, I planted them, I don't know, 12, 14, 16 inches apart. Knowing me, I probably put my big foot down there and went like that and said, yeah, and a little. But I think what I would do different is space them a little bit more. Now, that may reduce the amount that I can get on here, but I'm telling you, this year I've had more than enough tomatoes. What I'm thinking is plant one, skip one, plant one, and on the opposite side stagger them. So over there on the opposite side, wherever I planted a plant here, I'd plant a plant in the middle over there. And I'll show you, a couple instances. Number one, it's going to be hard to do. I got the sun right here in front of us. This is what the tops look like. Okay, it got to a point where they were laying on top of each other, and I had a hard time of keeping them thinned out. And now here they are. This one's from the other side, and he's almost touching them. You know, he's 12 inches or so from touching the ground. But if I stagger them and I space them apart, you know, that'd give one plant room to go up and then skip, and it'd allow the other plant to have place where I can vine it down. And I think it would help reduce some of this up here. So that's a couple things I might do different. All in all, I was pleased with the production of them. They did well, except one tomato I don't think I'll grow again, and that's this one here. This was what they called the money makers. I just didn't like them. They didn't have any flavor to them. They were kind of cool because they were all in clusters, you know. Oh, that's neat. But the problem was it took them forever to ripen. And then when they were ripe, or what I thought was ripe, you'd cut them open, they were green inside. And tough. The skins were tough. They were tough tomatoes. So I just simply don't know that I'm going to grow those again. Besides that, I didn't get near the amount out of those as I did the Amish Paste. And the Amish Paste are still producing. You know, a little bit later when we get our frost, I'll come out here just before the frost and I'll pick all these, and I guarantee you I will have tomatoes almost all the way through February when I go to plant tomatoes. So Amish Paste has really knocked it out of the park this year. But all in all, see here's some of those big tomatoes from the other side. Of course, you know, this is in the fall, they don't get near as big. But that is some of the mortgage lifters that I planted on the other side. And now they've grown over here. I got this late blight simply because I had to work so much. I had to work doubles. I could not get out here and keep them pruned up and so forth. But a lot of it stems from the way that I planted them, and they basically just grew on top of each other, you know, from one side to the other. But I feel like if I spaced them correctly, you know, down below, because these are really close together. I mean, that's a foot apart. That's probably what I did, knowing me. But other than that, tomatoes did well this year. Like I said, here we are, October 2nd, and it is plumb full still of tomatoes. Ripe tomatoes ready to eat. I even have some cherry tomatoes down here. So, would you recommend doing this? Definitely. I would definitely recommend getting you 2 cattle panels. You got to pay attention when you go to especially if you're not used to dealing with cattle panels, that kind of stuff. There's a couple different types, but there's 2 different types of cattle panels. One of them, they've got a lot tighter spacing towards the bottom. Because you got to remember, this is designed for animals to be contained. So they don't want animals being able to root around and get through and stuff. So they have some where the panels are this close together, each one of those little bars. They don't make very good ones. Hog panels is another one that they do that on, where they've got really short or really close together bars. Once again, they don't do too good. I've got one down there on the wall, and I usually just grow cucumbers on it and such. When you go, get the ones that's got the wide panels, okay? You'll be happier with those. Because I've grown both of them before, in both of them, and I'm happier with the wider ones. So, put you a cattle panel out, arch it. Man, you can, I'm not kidding you, you could put, well, let's just look right here. I've got 4 right there, 4 tomato plants. These were all the big ones, okay? And I've got 4 on the other side. That's 8 tomatoes on one arch. And it works. It does work. So I would totally recommend that. So just a tomato update. Fall tomato crop, if you will, is doing well. So who's your gardener here? Lord bless. Have a good day.